Hi everyone, I'm Asiyah and this is Asiyah's Plant Life. Thank you for joining me today. Today I have a few things that I want to go over, and I guess I'll start with saying thank you to all of my new subscribers, my Instagram followers, and those of you that participated in my September, or I should say August, giveaway. If you didn't win, no worries. I will be doing another one around the holidays, probably around Black Friday. So make sure that you're subscribed here and that you follow me on Instagram so that you can be in the know of when that next giveaway is going to happen. So anyway, jumping right into today's video, I want to talk about our love language, more specifically our plants' love language. So when we think about our love language as humans, we think about how we communicate with our spouse or significant other, right? We want them to know what makes us feel good, what doesn't make us feel good, how we like to be touched, how we want to be talked to, if we like specific, sexual positions, what we don't like. It's really how we communicate to our spouse or our significant other, what makes us feel good and what is going to allow us to thrive and grow in our relationship. So if we translate that to plants, plants have their own love language. And today I've bought 4 of my smaller plants that have different love languages. And what I mean by love language when I speak about plants is what their needs are. Every plant is different. And as you grow your plant collection, you will start to see that their care is not one size fits all. And for a lot of novice plant parents, they think that you do the same thing. You water them all at the same time, you fertilize them all at the same time, you place them all in your brightest window, and they should all thrive and grow. And over time, you learn that that's not exactly true. Every plant has a different need, just like every human has a different need. So I translate that to being the plant's love language. What can I do for my plants that's going to allow them all to thrive and grow individually, right? So let's get into it. I have 4 plants with me today. I'm going to start with, I'll start with my aloe plant. So most of you are familiar with aloe, whether you have an aloe plant at home or you use aloe in cooking, you use it for skin or hair care. Pretty much this is a plant that we all know. And I think we all love. I mean, how can you not look at it? It's beautiful. So this is a small aloe plant. I actually rescued this one. You know, people rescue pets all the time. Well, I rescue plants. So I rescued this one from my local Walmart. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but at the end of the season, Walmart and even some plant nurseries will get rid of plants that haven't sold or plants that are kind of dying off or just not doing too well. And you can sometimes get them at a discounted rate if you go and you speak to the right person. So they were asking at the time, this had probably maybe just 2 or 3 stalks on it, and they were probably asking $3 or so, and I think I got it down to $1.50 because it was on the cart to be tossed out, and the ends were brown. I think you can see some here. Let me show you. This was probably one of the original ones. This might have been one of the original ones, and if you can see how it's browning, this I clipped off because the whole tip was dry and brown and pretty much just dead. So I was able to get it down to $1 and change. And it's been thriving really well. It was in a nursery pot when I brought it home. And you guys know what the nursery pots are. They're either green or black. They're plastic, not very sturdy. And that's what's used to grow and sell the plant. And then when you get it home, then you can go ahead and repot it. So this is a terracotta pot that I had around for a while. And I just repotted it probably, maybe 6 months ago. Probably about 6 months, somewhere in that time frame. But this plant's love language. So as with most succulents, and aloe is a succulent, succulents and cactus are in the same family. Most succulents like very, very dry soil. They do not like to be in moist or waterlogged soil at all. So for this plant, what I do is about once every 3 weeks, I dust the leaves off, I spritz the leaves, and I give it a big drink of warm water. Now, my definition of warm is baby bath water warm. So for those of you that have kids or that have ever given a baby a bath, the water is warm, but it's not hot, it's not scorching, it's not scalding. That is what I like to water all of my plants with. And I'm also on a well. Now I know that's not something that you can just pick and choose. I just happen to be on a well. And then we have a whole house filter as well to filter any of the extra minerals in the water out. You can use distilled water. If you are on a public water system, I would suggest filtering your water through a filter like Brita or something like that before you give it to your plants. But yeah, succulents, they like big drinks of water, and then they like to be left alone. Place in a sunny window. Probably the sunniest window you have in your home is the best window for a succulent or a cactus, because these plants are desert plants. They are tropical plants. I won't even say tropical. They're desert plants, and they like to be in dry climates. Now, we do know the desert is dry, but they do get water, right? So with these plants, they get a big drink of water, and then the roots and the fleshy leaves hold that water, and it feeds the plant as it needs water, right? So that's all that this plant needs. It's very easy to care for. If you are a plant newbie or you've had a hard time keeping your plants alive, I would suggest starting with some sort of succulent. It doesn't have to be an aloe, but any sort of succulent. And you can identify a succulent because they have these big, fat, fleshy leaves. So yeah, start with a succulent, dust the leaves off. You don't want to get any spider mites or any other sort of bugs or insects that like to live on houseplants. So make sure you keep your plant leaves dusted off, spritz it. For me, it's about once a month, and then give it a big drink of water and let the soil dry completely before you give it any more water. Moving on, this is a rubber plant. I've only had this plant for maybe 2 months now. This was actually a gift from my ex-husband. This was one of his plants, and he gave it to me as a peace offering. Can you guys believe it? I was excited, and it was a very nice gesture, but that's for a whole nother video. But anyway, rubber plants. So one thing, because rubber plants have such big leaves, you see how big that leaf is, they tend to collect a lot of dust. So this plant, I dust the leaves off once a week. Now, I've known some people to use neem oil, N-E-E-M, neem oil on the leaves of their rubber plants. I have yet to try that, but it's supposed to help repel the dust and then also give these leaves a nice big glossy shine. Because as you see, naturally they are a waxy leaf. So the neem oil is supposed to help with that. And it also helps, again, repel the dust and repel insects that like to call this house plant home. So I've only had this one, like I said, about 6 weeks, maybe 2 months, and I'm still learning the love language for this plant. It's still in its nursery pot. I believe that it's ready to be repotted because I see some of the roots coming up out of the soil, and that's usually a sign when they start growing out of the soil that they need a new pot. But what I've been doing is spritzing these leaves once or twice a week, dusting them off once a week, and then giving it a big drink of water once a week. So once a week is every 6 to 7 days. I probably could go 8 days, but I'm staying in the 6 to 7 day window, and that seems to be doing well. This is also in a window that gets bright light, and I actually only have one room in my home that gets bright light. So 2 of these plants, my aloe plant and this rubber plant, are in that window because they like bright light. Next, I'm going to move on to my pothos. Now, this plant is one of my favorite plants. When any of my friends come to me and ask, hey, I want to get a new plant, I don't really know what plant is best for my home or my office or my classroom, because I have some friends that are teachers and they put plants in their classrooms, I always tell people start with the pothos. Why? Because they're hardy. You really have to have a tremendous black thumb to kill a pothos. Now, a pothos plant, this genus of plant, there are many. There's a jade, there's a golden, there's a marble. This is a golden pothos. This marble, there's so many varieties of this plant, but they're all very hardy and they're easy to care for. So this plant has been repotted. It's a pretty decent sized pot, and this sits on my nightstand in my bedroom. Now, my bedroom is a it's a northeast facing, more north than east. And it does not get a lot of light. In the morning time, when the sun is shining bright and the sun is high, my bedroom is still very dark. So the only plants that I have in my bedroom are plants that I know can withstand low light. So that's the first thing with your plant's love language. Learning what that plant likes. Does it like low light? Does it like medium, bright light? Once you learn that, then you can kind of feel your way through the rest of the things. How much water does it need? How often it needs to be watered? How you dust the leaves? Do you fertilize it? All of those things can come after you realize what type of light your plant needs. So because a pothos is such a hardy plant, it can thrive in low light. I have one of these in my bathroom, my master bathroom, and then I also have this one on my night table. With this one, the leaves don't collect much dust, so I will dust them probably, I would say every 2 weeks. But what I do is I spritz the leaves. I have a spray bottle with nothing but water that's only for my plants, and I spritz the leaves 2 or 3 times a week, and I give it a big drink of water about every 10 days. Some pothos do well with drier soil, and others like the soil to be a little bit more moist. I find that my pothos tend to like the soil to be somewhat dry, so I only water it about every 10 days or so, and it's been thriving very well and growing. Now, a pothos is a trailing plant. As it continues to grow, the leaves will start to trail. They're actually almost viney. If you look at how they're growing in here, it's almost viney, and they'll grow out and they'll trail, and they can become very beautiful and very large. All right, and lastly, let me move on because I feel like I'm rambling and I don't want to hold you guys too long. Lastly, I'm going to show you my Sansevieria, otherwise known as a snake plant or mother-in-law's tongue. Now this plant, this is another one of my Walmart finds. Probably got this plant about 2 years ago, and it was very small. It only had about 2 or 3 leaves in the middle in a very small 2-inch nursery pot. It's now in this is a 6-inch. Yes, this is a 6-inch ceramic pot, of course, with, can you see, drainage holes. That's also very important that if you're new to plant care, you find plants with drainage holes. Once you become a little bit more adept at caring for your plants, then we can talk about how to put plants into pots without drainage holes and what you can do to make sure those plants still grow and thrive. So this is a very easy plant to care for. This is another plant that if you have low light, or if you're not sure, I feel like that's in my way, or in your way of seeing me. But if you have low light, if you're new at plant care, if you're kind of trying to feel your way around what plants are best for you, this plant is very hardy. This plant probably goes a month between waterings. Now, this is one of my Sansevierias. I have altogether, I think, 7 or 8 snake plants or Sansevierias of various sizes and different genus of plants. All snake plant, but different varieties, I should say, not genus, different varieties of the plant. And all of them probably go about a month. My bigger plants, my bigger Sansevierias, I probably water every 10 days to 2 weeks because they seem to drink water faster to me. But excuse me, guys, the smaller ones can go about a month. These, I have 2 of these and 1 smaller one that sits in my kitchen window, which is a west facing window, but it does have, outside of that kitchen window, it has a it's not a pergola, guys, what do you call it, a patio, and the patio is covered, so it does block a lot of that bright light that would be coming in through that window. So this plant does very well in that kitchen window because it's not getting a lot of light. Dust the leaves off, give them a spritz, give it a big drink of water, let it drain, and then plop it back into its spot and let it sit until its next watering. So I hope that this video has helped you guys understand what a plant's love language is and how to care for each plant individually. Again, it takes time. Don't be too hard on yourself. And please, please don't go out and buy every plant tool or every plant apparatus that you see on the market, because you won't need all of them. I think I'll do a separate video on some of the essentials that you need when you're starting your plant collection, or when you are transitioning from being an outdoor gardener to having an indoor plant collection. It's different. So you don't need a lot, but you do need to pay attention to your plant. You need to listen to your plant. Your plants will tell you what they need. If you water them too much, a lot of times the leaves will turn yellow, or they're brown, or they might even fall off. If it's not watered enough, the leaves can also turn yellow and brown, or also fall off. So it's really just a watch and see game with plants. They will tell you what they need. Just like your spouse or your significant other will tell you what they need, a plant will tell you what they need. You just have to listen. Again, I hope that you found some useful information in this video. I thank you guys for giving me 15 to 16 minutes of your time. I know you guys have a busy day, and I appreciate each and every one of you. If you're new to my channel and you like what you see, please subscribe for more videos, and hop on over to Instagram and follow me there as well. Asiyah's Plant Life. I will go ahead and link everything in the description box for you. I hope you guys are having a beautiful, beautiful day, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.